Now, Ambassador, good evening, Ambassador Kwesi Pratt. He's been asking me why I call him ambassador. I've already told him that because he's an ambassador of the Cuban Revolution. What has happened? I was a graduate student in the United Kingdom sometime in 2006, 2005. And there was the school in which I was studying, the School of Oriental and African Studies at the University of London. They had a hall called the Brunei Gallery. And in this Brunei Gallery, there was a lot of, it was a stage for activists who will come to the school and talk. You know, this university, this School of Oriental and African Studies was sort of set up in the 1910s for these kinds of things, African conversations, Asian conversations. So a lot of global trade fairness, Jubilee 2000. The Brunei Gallery hosts a lot of these things, and it's in the center of London in a place they call Russell Square. So it's really the bedrock for activism, especially left-wing activism. And for those of you who know, I used to be left-wing before I fled to the right, where I am now. So one day I was in the library when a friend of mine who's an Indian came and asked me that, why are you in the library? They're doing a Ghana function at the Brunei Gallery. I said, Ghana? I said, oh yeah, there's a talk about Ghana. You should go and see it. So I packed my books quickly and I descended into the hall. And when I went there, I saw Guzi Tano. I was very excited. And I think I saw Chocho Poku as well, somebody like that. And then there was a guy who was sort of leading the event. I'd never seen him before. I didn't know him. So when I got in and he saw me, he was talking when I got in. Then he got off the stage and I think somebody was speaking, I think in Ngugi wa Thiong'o or somebody important like that. And then he said, hey, Paul Adom-Otchere. And I said, oh, wow, who are you? He said, oh, you don't know me, but I know you very, very well. I said, but how do you know me? He said, I know you through Kwesi Pratt. I said, but who are you? They said, my name is Explo. I said, Explo? I said, yeah, my name is Explo Nani Kofi. I said, oh, I've heard your name before. He said, yes. I said, but what are you doing here? He said, I organized this program. I said, are you London-based? I said, yeah, I'm London-based. And he talked about J. Kufuor and how he wasn't governing well and blah, blah, blah. You know, these left-wing people. So I got into great conversation with him. I really liked him. I saw him again and again and again, and then I came back to Ghana. I came to tell Kwesi Pratt that I met Explo Nani Kofi, and he said, yeah, he told me. I think he mentioned to Kwesi. This week, I was looking at my phone, and I saw that Explo Nani Kofi had died. That's him. That's Explo Nani Kofi. You see, this is what he does. Speaking in the microphone, addressing crowds, you know, moving the socialist agenda, fairness for African trade. Great guy, fantastic guy, Explo Nani Kofi. I read on my social media that he had died, and many tributes were pouring. I know a lot of you viewers don't know him, but there he is again. That's Explo Nani Kofi. Always making a point, always trying to... I didn't understand his name, you know. What is Explo Nani Kofi? It's not Nana Kofi, it's Nani Kofi. I didn't quite get it, and I used to tease him that, what is the meaning of this, your name? Quite an elderly guy. I think he's about Kwesi's age. And very, 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 very strong guy. Very strong guy. He's a proper... You know, these socialists are very intellectually astute. You always have to give it to them. We, the right wing, we are capitalists, so sometimes we don't pay too much attention to so much PhD and all of that, but they do. So the socialists are very intellectually astute. That's why I like learning from them. Anywhere you hear that Dr. Yao Graham is speaking, call me, I'll go and listen. I listen to Dr. Yao Graham anytime he's talking. These socialists are great minds. So Explo became my friend and we'll argue, you know, I'm right, he's left, and we'll do all those things. And very, very nice guy. I read that Explo has passed. I think that it behoves me to pay a great tribute to Explo Nani Kofi. All the conversations we had in the corridors of SOAS about socialism and capitalism and why Africa should go this way and Africa should go that way. And I hope that Musa Superior will be told, or that he's watching, because Musa Superior and I also used to talk about Explo Nani Kofi. This is the London group that had been there in the days of opposition to Rawlings, and he remained there even when everybody came, and he continued his work. He was not just doing Ghana. He had done a lot with apartheid. He had done a lot with the NPLA, the Angola. He's an activist like Kwesi Pratt, so he activates everything, reparations. Explo talks like that. So when I looked at all the tributes, I saw one by Akomfra. Akomfra used to be, and I met Akomfra through Raymond Atakesen, one of my good friends. Raymond Atakesen is a very good friend of mine, Metallic, they call him. And I met him I met Akomfra through him. Because Akomfra, in those days, was the CPP chairman in the United Kingdom. Around that time, Alex Segbefia was the NDC chairman in UK. I used to engage all. I thoroughly enjoyed my graduate studies in those days, mixing it with Ghanaian politics. It was really good. Alex Segbefia was the UK chairman. Michael Ansa, I believe, was the MPP chairman. So we'll go to Michael Ansa's home. Myself, Marlon Anipa, who is also passed, will sit in Michael Ansa's home till 3 a.m. conversing about politics. And then we will converse about FONA had just been formed, Friends of Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, and trying hard to get Akufo-Addo elected. We were conversing about all of these things. Abe Ifakabu was with me. Von Brazil was in Birmingham, and sometimes we'll meet in London and share these conversations. So Akonfra was the chairman of the CPP in London at the time. When I got back to Ghana in 2008, Akonfra was in town. I had so many meetings with him. The old Metro TV office in Laboni, he would come, we sit down, we chat for long. So I was looking at the tributes that had been paid to Explo Nani Kofi, and I saw Akonfra's tribute. And I thought I should read Akonfra's tributes here for viewers to truly see who Explo Nani Kofi is. These days, we don't have many young people wanting to be like Explo, but it's important that we keep the faith in terms of those who are doing the thinking. Very, very important. People who are thinking about our society, thinking about what we should do and how we should go. So I read, truly saddened and unbelievable that Explo is gone. From the streets of London, where our paths first crossed, to the fiery demonstrations that tested our courage, I was privileged to walk alongside a man whose life was a testament to selflessness, courage, and conviction. He was not merely a friend, he was a comrade, steadfast, principled, and unyielding. He carried with him the living flame of Nkrumahism, illuminating our struggles with the wisdom of socialism and the courage of those who dare to dream of freedom. Many of us who stand today, rooted in that tradition, owe our understanding and conviction to him. His words and deeds were a living school, his life a lesson. Many came to his flat in Shepherd's Bush to pay homage to this great man. We read with awe the story of his great escape from prison, a narrative that belongs not only to his personal journey, but to the annals of our collective struggle. His sacrifices were not for glory, but for the cause of justice, for the dignity of the African, and for the triumph of the people. In every movement, in every gathering, his voice rose, not for himself, but for all. And now, like the noble figure of antiquity whose passing shook empires, his departure leaves a silence that resounds deeply with us. Yet, as the Romans once said of their fallen leaders, he has not died, but entered the ranks of the immortal. So we do not mourn as those who are bereft of hope. We lift up our heads and recall that history is not written only in the books, but in the lives of those who dare to live for others. Our comrade lived on, and in that, his spirit cannot die. His example will march with us. His lessons will guide us. His courage will strengthen us. Hail, comrade Explo Nani Kofi. Hail the teacher. Hail the soldier of the Nkrumah's cause. May the earth rest lightly upon him, and may his name live forever in the memory of all who struggle for freedom. Until we meet again at the sound of the resurrection, Explo Nani Kofi has certainly paid his dues to Nkrumahism, to Africa, and to all of that. Bring back my photograph with Kwesi Pratt and let me address Ambassador Kwesi Pratt. So, Ambassador, we lost Explo Nani Kofi. I can imagine how sad you would be on this occasion. But the struggle continues, isn't it? The struggle continues with you, with me, with everybody else, those of you on the left, so those of us on the right, to create a better society for the next generation of our people. Rest in peace, Explo Nani Kofi.